everybody. We are going to start off at Joshua 15. This is the allotment for Judah. All right. The allotment for the tribe of Judah, according to its clans, extended down to the territory of Edom, to the desert of Zin in the extreme south. Their southern border or southern boundary started from the bay at the southern end of the Dead Sea, crossed south of Scorpion Pass, continued on to Zin and went over to the south of Kadesh Barnea. Then it ran past Hezron up to the Adar and curved around to Karka. It then passed along to Asmon and joined to the Wadi of Egypt, ending at the Mediterranean Sea. This is their southern boundary. The eastern boundary is the Dead Sea as far as the mouth of the Jordan. The northern boundary started from the Bay of the Sea at the mouth of the Jordan, went up to Beth Haglah, and continued north of Beth Arabah to the stone of Bahan, son of Reuben. The boundary then went up to Deber from the valley of Achor and turned north to Gilgal, which faces the pass of Adamam, south of the gorge. It continued along to the waters of En Shemesh and came out at En Rogel. Then it ran up from the valley of Ben Hanamim along to the southern slope of the Jebusite city, that is Jerusalem. From there it climbed to the top of the hill of the West Hinnom Valley. Just listen to how much detail this is. Yeah, we all know that valley at the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. From the hilltop, the boundary headed toward the spring of the waters of Nephtoah, came out at the towns of Mount Ephron and went down towards Bala, that is Kirath Jearim. Then it curved westward from Bala to Mount Seir, ran along the northern slope of Mount Jearim, that is Kesalon, continued down to Beth Shemesh and crossed to Timnah. It went to the northern slope Ekron towards Shikeron, passed along to Mount Bala and reached Jabneel. The boundary ended at the sea. The western boundary is the coastline of the Mediterranean Sea. These are the boundaries around the people of Judah by their clans. In accordance with the Lord's command to him, Joshua gave to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, a portion in Judah, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron. Arba was the forefather of Anak. From Hebron, Caleb drove out the three Anakites, Sheshai, Ahiman, Talmai, the sons of Anak. From there he marched against the people living in Debir, formerly called Kiriath Sepher. And Caleb said, finally, the first words being recorded in this chapter, all of the boundaries have now been designated, and now all of a sudden Caleb's saying something. And Caleb said, I will give my daughter Ashka in marriage to the man who attacks and captures Kiriath Sepher. Caleb's daughter, that would be quite the bragging rights, I would think. Not that it's about bragging rights, but we all know who Caleb is. Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's brother, took it, so Caleb gave his daughter Ashka to him in marriage. Okay. One day when she came to Othniel, she urged him to ask his father for a field. When she got off her donkey, Caleb asked her, "What can I do for you?" She replied, "Do me a special favor. Since you have given me land in Negev, give me also springs of water." So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of Judah according to its clans. Just a random story. Maybe we'll get back to it. The southernmost towns of the tribe of Judah in Negev toward the boundary of Edom. So these are the Judean borders. Kabzeel, Edar, Kinna, Adabah, Kedesh, Hazar, Ithnan, Sif, Telem, Pelath, Hazar, Hatah, Kirith, Hezron, that is Hazar, Amnon, Shema, Molada, Hazar, Gada, Heshen, Beth, Pelet, Hazar, Shul, Beersheba, Bala, Yimni, Zim, Elato, Ziklag, Madama, Sanana, Laboeth, Shilhim, Ayin, Rimmon, a total of 29 towns and their villages. In the western foothills, a whole bunch more towns: Eshtelah, Zorah, Ashnan, Zanoah, En-Ganim, Tapua, Enem, Jarmuth, Adullam, Saku, Azekah, Jariim, Adiathim, Gederathaim, 14 towns and their villages: Zena, Hadashah, Migdal, Gad, Mizah, Joktil, Lachish, Bolsa, Eglon, Kabdan, Lamas, Kalish, Gadareth, Beth-dagon, Namath, and Makkadesh, 16 towns and their villages: Limnah, Esther, Ashtath, Iphath, Aphanan, Nezib, Kelimins, Akzib, Maresheth, 9 towns and their villages. This is hard. Ekron with its surrounding settlements and villages west of Ekron, all that was in the vicinity of Ashdod, together with their villages. Ashdod is surrounded settlements and villages, and Gaza its settlements and its villages, as far as the Wadi of Egypt and the coastline of the Mediterranean Sea. In the hill country, Jamir, Jatith, Zokath, Danath, Kerethin, Shana, that is Debir, Anab, Eshtemith, Anib, Goshen, Holland, Gilead, 11 towns and their villages: Arib, Doma, Eshen, Janin, Beth, Tapua, Aphekeh, Hamta, Kireth, Arba, that is Hebron, and Zerah, 9 towns and their villages: Moan, Carmel, Ziph, Jetua, Jezreel, Jokadim, Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 towns and their villages: Halha, Beth Zurah, Geder, Maratha, Beth Anoth, and Etelkon, 6 towns and their villages: Gereth Baal, that is Gereth Jarim, Rabbah, 2 sons and their villages in the wilderness. And now in the wilderness: Beth Arabath, Midden, Zekekah, Nefshin, the city of salt, and En-Gedi, 6 towns and their villages. Judah could not dislodge the Jebusites, who were living in Jerusalem. To this day, the Jebusites live with the people of Judah. And we're going to do chapter 16 now, the allotment for Ephraim and Manasseh. The allotment of Joseph began at the Jordan, east of the springs of Jericho, and went up from there through the desert into the hill country of Bethel. It went on from Bethel, that is Luz, crossed over to the territory of Archazites, and Arthith descended westward to the territory of Japhil as far as the region of Lower Beth Horon, and the Gezer ending at the Mediterranean Sea. So Manasseh and Ephraim, the descendants of Joseph, received their inheritance, and this was the territory of Ephraim, according to its clans. The boundary of their inheritance went to Ataroth, Adar in the east to the upper Beth Horon, and continued to the Mediterranean Sea. From Mechmathtath on the north, it curved eastward to Tanath Shiloh, passing by to its Janath on the east. Then it went down from Janath to Atareth, and Natareth touched Jericho and came. Almost dropped my Bible here. Then it went down from Janath to Astareth, and Narath touched Jericho and came out at the Jordan. From Tapua, the border went west to Kanath Ravine and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the Ephraimites, according to its clans. And it also included all the towns and their villages that were set aside for the Ephraimites within the inheritance of Manassites. They did not dislodge the Canaanites living in Gezer. To this day, the Canaanites live among the people of Ephraim, but are required to do forced labor. How are we doing with time? Okay, we're doing good. Chapter 17, this is what the allotment of the tribe of Manasseh, Joseph's firstborn, that is Machir, Manasseh's firstborn. Machir was the ancestor of the Gileadites, who had received Gilead and Bashan because the Machir were great soldiers. So this allotment was for the rest of the people of Manasseh, the clans of Abiezer, Helek, Azriel, Shechem, Hefer, and Shemida. There are the other male descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, by their clans. Now Zelophehad, son of Hefer, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons, but only daughters, whose names were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They went to Eleazar the priest, Joshua, son of Nun, and the leaders, and said, "The Lord commanded Moses to give us the inheritance among our relatives." So Joshua gave them an inheritance along with the brothers of their father, according to the Lord's command. Manasseh's share consisted of the 10 tracts of land besides Gilead and Bashan east of the Jordan, because the daughters of the tribe of Manasseh received an inheritance among the sons. The land of Gilead belonged to the rest of the descendants of Manasseh. The territory of Manasseh extended from Asher to Michmetheth, east of Shechem. The boundary ran southward from there to include the people living in Eptua. Shechem, we're going to read a bad thing about Shechem in chapter 34 of Genesis, but that's not going to be in a long time. The boundary ran southward from there to include the people of En-Tupua, Manasseh had the land of Tappuah, but Tappuah itself, on the boundary of Manasseh, belonged to the Ephraimites. Then the boundary continued south to Canoah ravine, and there were towns belonging to Ephraim lying among the towns of Manasseh, but the boundary of Manasseh was the northern side of the ravine and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. Excuse me. On the south, the land belonged to Ephraim. On the north, to Manasseh. The territory of Manasseh reached the Mediterranean and bordered Asher on the north and Azekah on the east. Within Azekah and Asher are Manasseh and also Beth Shamim, Iblam, and the people of Dor, Endor, Tanakh, and Megiddo, together with their surrounding settlements. The third is the list in Naphtali. Yet the Manassites were not able to occupy these towns, for the Canaanites were determined to live in that region. However, when the Israelites grew stronger, they subjected the Canaanites to forced labor, but did not drive them out completely. The people of Joseph said to Joshua, "Why have you given us only one allotment and one portion for our inheritance? We are a numerous people, and the Lord has blessed us abundantly." "If you are so numerous," Joshua answered, "and if the hill country of Ephraim is too small for you, go up into the forest and clear land for yourselves there in the land of the Perizzites and Rephites." The people of Joseph replied, "The hill country is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites who live in the plain have chariots fitting with iron, both those in Bethshan and its settlements, and those in the valley of Jezreel." But Joshua said to the tribes of Joseph, to Ephraim and Manasseh, "You are numerous and very powerful. You will not have only one allotment, but the forested hill country as well. Clear it, and its farthest limits will be yours. Though the Canaanites have chariots fitted with iron, and though they are strong, you can drive them out." Interesting. Just a little dispute to end chapter 17. And I think that will be it for tonight. Lord, just thank you for the details once again, much more than we would have imagined we could know. And if we had more time, we could probably dock on every word and get the the pronunciation down. But nevertheless, thank you for your word, and thank you for your grace. In your name, amen. Have a good night, guys. See you next time.